As my collection is now approaching 1,000 video games, you might be wondering, am I filthy rich? Do I have a really amazing job and spend all my money on games? No, actually. I feel like I don't spend that much on video games at all, to be honest. I'm very tight with money, and I'm very strict on the prices at which I will buy games. So, how have I amassed my collection? Well, today I'm giving you my top tips on video game collecting. You may have seen something like this. I know I definitely have on certain collectors groups or forums. Someone posts something saying, a few months ago we decided to collect the full PlayStation 1 PAL set, and now we finally have the entire set in a few months. You may think, wow, that's really impressive, but is it though? Basically, they just had a shit ton of money and have thrown as much money as they possibly could spend at getting the entire collection. Some people have been collecting for years, even decades, with that goal in mind. And I know I personally want to at least play every single PlayStation game. And I've been collecting for 7 or 8 years and I'm nowhere near that goal. And these people have definitely paid over the odds to get such a big collection in such a short amount of time. You might say, well, it's their money, let them waste it, it doesn't affect anyone else. But actually, I think it does. Because you imagine, a reseller of video games puts a posting up on eBay, for instance, The Misadventures of Tron Bonne, let's say, and they put it up at £500, a price that I would literally never pay. People with a lot of money that just want the complete set, they don't care about actually collecting, they just want the set there to show off or whatever. They don't care about the price, they're just going to buy it. If they see it, they'll buy it because they want to complete the collection. So eBay now has a record. The Misadventures of Tron Bonne was bought at £500. That price is now justified. So anytime anyone's trying to sell The Misadventures of Tron Bonne in the future, that price is now risen to that level. Some people will then come along and say, hey, I've got a Misadventures of Tron Bonne for 350 quid. What a bargain. But it's not a bargain, is it really? It's a ridiculous amount to pay for one video game. This leads me to my first and one of the most important tips. Be patient. If there's a game or something you really want, don't jump in at the first price you see. Set alerts on eBay to see them popping up, see what they're selling for, see the past prices of what they've sold for, and just, be really patient and see if you can get in at a decent price. You might think opportunities are going to pass you by this way, but trust me, in my experience, they have very rarely gone for good, because this was put up on eBay, I think it's still up now to be honest, for about £160. This is possibly the rarest PlayStation magazine. It's the very last issue of the PlayStation 1 run, issue 108. And I messaged the guy saying, hey, I collect these, I know what they're worth, let me give you a seriously decent offer. How's £30? That's 5 times the retail price. And the guy messaged back and he said, I'm looking for a much higher offer than that. Just 3 weeks later, I get an email notification from eBay that I have set up whenever PlayStation magazines are listed. And issue 108 was listed at Buy It Now for £14. That was just an amazing moment for me. I was patient, I waited, and I got in at a far cheaper price than it otherwise would have been. And I hope the guy never sells that magazine, because I'm pretty sure that's been listed for years. I really doubt he's ever going to sell it at that price. It's ridiculous. And as I say, the more people employ this tactic, the better it is for all collectors, because if I was to buy that magazine at £160, that's just justifying other people to come on and sell these magazines for a ridiculous amount. And I've never paid over the odds for any of my magazines, and I've almost got a full set. Another element to being patient is not buying new games, or at least not buying every new game that comes out. If you focus on the developers that you really care about and you love their games, then yeah, go ahead, buy them. Buy them every time they come out. I know loads of people who try and buy every new AAA game that comes out, and I think it's a psychological thing more than anything, because it's new. You want to have that feeling of buying something new, and I definitely get that sometimes as well, but I try and keep it, subdued, because it's like 50 quid every time you buy a new game. Some people might think I have a lot of money buying all these retro games, but compared to buying loads of new games, it's seriously a fraction of the cost. It's better that you support the few developers that you really like than just try and buy, all the new games that come out, because most of them are shit. So you've set up your eBay notifications and you get one for a game that you really want, and it's a buy it now price, but the price is just a little bit too high for you. Trust me, you want to add that to your watch list, because very often I've found, and I've just discovered this recently, if you start watching everything that you're interested in, sellers will actually make you offers at a lower price, and sometimes this has come through ridiculously cheap for me. You might think that auctions are usually the cheapest option, and yeah, most of the time auctions are the way to go, but I've got some ridiculously good deals just watching items that I didn't even want a discount on. Like, I was looking to watch the item because I was going to buy it at that price, and then the sellers offered me a discount, so I'm like, yes, get in, definitely take that. If you're anything like me, you'll actually set up so many emails that you'll hit the limit that eBay is even able to send you. But that's where my next tip comes in. Take breaks from collecting, or at least try and collect a bit more slowly, because I find that I feel satisfied every single time I add a game to the shelf, because I'm not getting packages through every single day and just shoving them up there. I take my time, I focus my collection on mainly PS1 at the minute, and I know exactly the kind of games that I'm prioritising really. So not only take breaks, but have a focus and a goal in mind, because if you have a priority of the kind of games you want, then you'll know that when you see that good deal, yes, that is the game I want, that is the one I'm going to buy next. Whereas if you just collect everything, like you collect, NES, SNES, Xbox, PlayStation, there's so many different things you can collect, even going back to Atari and things like that. If you're just collecting everything, then you'll end up just buying loads of scattered stuff all over the place. I suppose that's good for some people, maybe if they just want to collect the games that they've played before and know they like. But if you want to discover new games, I think it's definitely good to figure out what console you want to collect for, or maybe a particular genre you want to collect for. Next up, let's talk about charity shops. One of the worst things about being in lockdown with COVID-19 is that I can't go to charity shops anymore, because you see that PC collection back there? I think about 99% of those games were 50p or a pound from charity shops, and I've even found like really quite rare PS1 games such as Medieval and Adventures of Alundra, £1 at charity shops. So if you have a charity shop near you, and I'm really sorry if you don't, because that really sucks. I have quite a lot of charity shops near me, so I'm lucky. But basically, you go there, see if there's out there. If there's nothing, that's a shame. You've wasted a bit of time. Go there tomorrow. Go there the day after, because I can guarantee you that eventually games will start popping up that you want, and they are going to be really cheap usually. Sometimes, because I'm quite tight with money, I'll see something that I want in the collection, but it's £3, and I'm thinking, ooh, You know, usually I pay £1, but then I think about it a bit more, and sometimes that price is better because you have to pay postage when you buy from eBay. If you're buying one single game from eBay, then it's going to cost you more than that anyway. Some people have equally great success with car boot sales, and me personally, I'm not going to talk about car boots because I've never found anything worthwhile at car boot sales, but I know some people definitely do make a killing at those. So charity shops are a great way to bulk out your collection with a lot of really cheap games depending on what you're collecting. But there's something that's potentially even cheaper, and that's buying in bulk. I have had some brilliant buys, especially with the PlayStation magazines, which I pretty much got issue 1 to 60, I believe, all in bulk for a really, really good price. And I've ended up with a lot of duplicate magazines, yeah, but then I've either sold them or given them to other collectors. And so if you buy games in bulk, you might get some duplicates, yeah, but if you're willing to spend the time on selling them, then basically that is potentially the cheapest way of collecting games. My final tip, possibly the most important: play your games. Seriously, if you're finding that you're collecting all these games and you're just not really feeling the excitement about it all anymore, you're probably not playing enough games. Because if you discover that new game that you've never played from back in the day, you know, PlayStation 1 games, I've found loads of great ones that I never played as a kid. And you finish that game and you're like, wow, you know, what other games are there on the PlayStation that I haven't played that are just as good? There's probably loads out there, you know. And I think that more than anything, that is what encourages me. And it's always been my goal as a collector to discover new experiences and find those games that I never played as a kid and discover them now. And playing games ties into pretty much all the other tips that I've mentioned here. It helps you be patient because you're not spending all your time trying to buy games, you're actually spending it playing the games. It helps you have a focus and prioritise because you then know what kind of games are good, the kind of games you like and want to focus on. And let's face it, if you're not collecting games for the love of games, then what the fuck are you even doing? Like, you've just got a load of plastic on a shelf and you post pictures of it online and that's meant to be impressive. Like, these people need to get a grip. I'm collecting because I'm extremely passionate about playing the video games that I collect. But what do you collect for? And if you have any tips on video game collecting, please leave them in the comments below. I've been Jake of The Retro Perspective. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.